Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to share with you 5 things you can do right now to lower your stress so that you can protect your energy and better support your body to heal. I'm Rachel, emotional health coach, and I make videos on YouTube about keeping a healthy mind so you can keep a healthy body. In my practice, I see 2 main types of stress. More major stress from limiting beliefs, negative emotional habits, as well as traumas, and a more hidden type of stress that's everyday but is just as draining on a body that's sick. So the things I talk about will seem really simple, obvious even, but they were things I overlooked, and I see my clients doing exactly the same things. If we think of our bodies healing like a piggy bank, good things go in and help our healing, and anything that causes us stress takes away from our healing. So let's go through my top things you can change right now without needing any mindset shifts or to work on any trauma or anything. So the first thing is social media. When I was sick and stuck at home, I definitely needed contact with the outside world to feel human. And the good and fun bits of social media in small amounts helped me a lot. However, there was a time during my fatigue that I watched and engaged with a lot of triggering content, and I didn't realize how stressed and tired it would make me feel. It was when I hit rock bottom, when I had no reserves left at all, that I knew something had to change. So I ditched them all. I reduced my social media usage to nothing for a while, and then I kept it to under an hour a day. And then I made sure whatever I engaged with was kind to my mind and body. So how do you decide what you should ditch? It's a very personal thing, but when you're using social media, take a look at how long you're actually spending on there. Just using devices alone can be a stress on the body, so it's worth reducing it to under an hour a day. And when you engage with social media, I want you to ask yourself, how does my body feel when I look at this? Does it annoy me? Does it sadden me? Do I feel angry or frustrated? For some of us, healing stories can be very inspiring and boost hope, and for others, they trigger sadness or hopelessness. So think of your healing piggy bank and just unfollow friends and accounts that don't make you feel good. Which takes me on to the news. Back in the day, people read or watched the news once a day. Sounds like back in the olden days, doesn't it? Now we've got access to it 24/7, and it's changed from being more factual to being all about clicks and eyeballs so that it can compete with social media. So the people that write the headlines, they design them to grab our attention at a primitive level, to affect us emotionally, to stress us, so we just can't resist reading it. And if you've got health problems, it's one of the worst things for you. So I used to check the news a lot, and I believed I had to know what was going on all the time to feel safe. And yet, it was doing the opposite. I remember getting to a point where I thought, can I actually do anything about what's going on as I'm lying here on the sofa unable to move? And the answer for me was a big no. So I knew I had to get better first to be able to respond to any threat. So if this is one of your mini stresses, restrict your time to 10 minutes a day maximum, or better still, get your friends and family to tell you what you need to know, and just don't even look at it. So drama, thrillers, documentaries and horror. If you love these, I'm so sorry. I do as well. But it's important to remember that your body doesn't actually know the difference between a perceived and a real threat in terms of the stress response. So if you have any kind of fatigue-related condition, this type of thing is a real no-no. So when I was sick, I'd watch shows like Breaking Bad, and I really do like a good mafia film. And I noticed that while I watched them, my shoulders and stomach would tighten as I sort of braced myself for the bad stuff that was going to happen. I also found that they mess with my sleep. So I swapped these things for types of shows like comedy, and I noticed feeling happier and more relaxed after a month of doing it. It's not really a surprise. Laughter reduces our body's production of the stress hormones and calms us. which are all the things we need for healing, right? When we're ill, we can get stuck in a place of never laughing because our situation feels so big and overwhelming. And yet it's a time when we need to laugh more than ever. Which brings me on to endless health research. We've all done it. I used to be so good at health Googling. I learned the error of my ways, strangely enough, by watching how the squirrels in my local park responded when they got injured. They just eat well, go to bed or up in the dray, and trust their bodies. And they generally made miraculous recoveries, all without the help of Google. I was exhausted by the endless search for that new treatment, that better diet, the miracle supplement. Then I'd start to think I wasn't doing enough or the right thing, and that would make me feel really stressed. So I just decided to give up. I talk about this in my video about using medical medium to heal chronic fatigue. I decided at this point to trust the process, trust my body, and relax, and stop looking for a wonder cure and focus on my emotional health instead. And when I wasn't spending all my time on Google, I had more time for what I'm going to talk about in number 5. So it seems obvious, but again, I'll say this. When we get ill, we stop doing things we enjoy and that give us pleasure. And of course, some of them we can't physically do, but there are things that we can. And it is the very time that we need to have pleasure. I'd always been into music in a big way in my whole life, and I'd been a vinyl junkie since I was a small child. But when I got ill, I completely stopped listening to music. It was like I didn't deserve this wonderful thing in my life. So it took a death in my family of someone who'd been looking after my vinyl collection for me to actually rediscover music, and I used it to keep their memory alive as well. What I found when I got my records back, they actually contained a soundtrack to a really happy time in my life, and it was very healing to listen to them emotionally and physically. My body seemed to recognize that they were from happier times. So choose a period in your life that you were the happiest and listen to the music from that time. Songs have such a strong association with memories and emotions and can just be so amazing for relieving stress and boosting our production of happy hormones. So once my health improved and I was able to go out into the world, I actually joined a choir and found that that helped me even more. So depending where your health recovery is, this might be an option for you, or even just crank up the stereo and sing at home if you've got the energy. It's really so important. And if you can't do anything like that, just put something on soothing and just lie there and let it soak in. It's really very helpful. So I've already touched on this, but laughter is really one of the best things you can do. I know you may not feel like it. I certainly didn't when I was sick in bed, but really can be a case of faking it until you make it. So I'd stand in front of the mirror and smile, just like this. I looked like a bit of an idiot, and every afternoon I'd watch Friends on repeat. Laughter and smiling are the complete opposite of stress energetically and physically, and they can help us with the experience of pain and depression. And studies have shown that even a fake smile can boost the feel-good neurotransmitters as well as your immune system. So it's definitely worth giving a try. And it's free, it doesn't cost anything, and you've got nothing to lose and maybe some feel-good hormones to gain. And of course, one of my favorite stress reducers is tapping, and I will keep talking about it. And I'm so happy that I now get to show other people how to do it. So tapping regularly has been shown to lower the stress hormone cortisol. And if you don't know how to tap, check out my beginner's video to get started. So the best time for me to tap when I was ill was first thing in the morning, when I felt like I needed to be crowbarred out of bed. All that negative talk would swirl around in my mind, and I just found that if I tapped and took deep breaths, it helped me move that stress so I could face the day. And just 10 or 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference over time. So what's your favorite self-soothing practice to reduce stress and help your body? I'd really love to know. I'm always on the lookout for new ideas. And if you've enjoyed this video, give me a good old thumbs up so YouTube knows that it's worth watching. Click subscribe and I will see you next time.